Is it weird that I'm starting to prefer myself with my natural wavy hair? Or is that just a byproduct of being 30 and no longer caring? All right, y'all. Hello. Welcome back. I am back because what choice do I have? I'm kidding. I actually really enjoy doing this. Sidebar, yes, I am aware that my makeup is a little heavy-handed today. I did not. Okay, so here's what had happened. So, previous to getting all of these fancy lights, I kind of assumed that, well, I not assumed, I had to kind of pack on the makeup so that way it would read on camera. But now that I have these fancy lights, I don't necessarily need to pack it on to pack a punch. So here we are. Should I get closer to the camera, y'all? Maybe I should. Let's scoot up a little bit. All right, y'all. So today we are here on this beautiful Sunday, December 29th, to talk some shit. Okay. Let me preface this by saying, yes, I am tired. I am bloated. I have been having drinks almost every day since December 23rd. And I've just been partying way too hard. And I truly had another video planned, but truth be told, it was feeling a little too ambitious and I started to overwhelm myself. You know how that is when you give yourself impossible goals that only you know you're aware of, and then you make it into a big deal in your mind, and you're just a prisoner to your own unattainable goals that you've set for yourself. So then you sit there paralyzed and can't move forward, and you're just sitting there. So you just freeze and you don't do anything instead of doing something. I'm sure that's not just me. I am pretty sure that is the neurodivergent experience. So I had another video planned. It was so ambitious that I paralyzed myself and didn't do anything. And then last night, I had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know. Okay, Wicked. Calm down. Let Wicked go. Let it go. No, for real. I had a dream last night that I was going to shoot this video. And then I woke up and I was like, that's a fun concept. Let's do that. So without further ado, my friends, again, welcome to my house. I am your host, Yvonne Ventura, owner of said house. My co-host, Miss Mike, is sleeping over here. You can't see her. And my other co-hosts, Chuck and Bruce, are running around the house, and they may or may not make appearances. That is the joy of his channel. You never know when one of my cats is going to come and bring chaos to the vibes. So today, rather than doing a ratchet retelling, I am actually going to talk about one of my other loves, which is cinema. Your girl loves movies. I love shows, I love movies, I love music, and I love books. And this holiday season has blessed us back to back with a bunch of movies that I saw and when I was at the movies the previous times, and I was like, I want to see that, you know, because I'm a person that goes to the movies to also see the trailers because I love movies. Do not take a shot anytime I say movies. So I love movies. This was a very good movie season. In this last month, I have seen 4 different films. That is right. I've seen 4 movies. And I want to talk about them and give my own mini reviews on them. What qualifications do I have, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you what. You may not know this. You probably don't know this if you don't know me. I am what you would call a retired thespian. That is right. I was in the acting game in high school. the minor leagues, okay? I was doing high school theater. That was what I spent most of my time on, and I have grown a huge appreciation for acting. So my reviews today are going to be more focused on the performances of the actors themselves, a little bit of the music, if there is some music involved. So, without further ado, today there's 4 movies that I'm going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Moana 2. Yes, hurrah, hurrah. We will also be talking about Kraven the Hunter. Again, room for applause. There you go. We are also going to be talking about Nosferatu, which is the most recent one I saw. I saw it last night, but there's a reason I'm doing the order that I'm doing. And last but not least, we are also going to be talking about Babygirl. Applausos, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Okay, y'all. Spoiler alert, I saw Babygirl twice, so I have shit to say. And this is a Starbucks coffee that was purchased early this morning that I never drank, and now I've reheated it and I'm drinking it. I don't care if you find that disgusting. This is my house, and in my house, we do what we do. All right? All right. Okay. Let's get the show on the road. I swear, I keep saying, let's get the show on the road, and then I rant for like 5 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all hate that, that's just me. Hi, Butch. All right. Movie number 1. Let us talk about Moana 2. Fun fact, I had not seen Moana 1 before, so I was asked by the people I went to go see Moana 2 with to please see Moana 1 before we went. And I'm glad I did, because the movie would not have made any sense if I had not seen Moana 1. By the people, I mean my 2 cousins that I went with, which we did not take any children. We are 30, 31, and 29, and no kids, just us, grown-ass women, went to go see Moana 2. Nothing weird about that. Don't judge. We wanted to see a musical, and so we did. Moana 2. What do I have to say about Moana 2? It was all right. I prefer Moana 1, namely because of the songs. Don't get me wrong, Moana 2's songs were not objectively bad. There were some catchy songs there, but they weren't as catchy as Moana 1. And so I did some research for y'all because I wanted to find out what was missing, because Moana 1 had magic in a bottle. It had little girls possessed by the spirit of Moana singing that one song, you know, where no one knows. They had kids just possessed by the spirit of Moana. So I needed to know why the spirit of Moana was not in this movie. Come to find out that Moana, the original score, the original lyrics or the songs were not composed, because that's instrumentation, but they were written by the godfather of modern musicals, Mr. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Viva la raza, viva mi gente latino. So Mr. Lin-Manuel Miranda was behind Moana 1. Moana 2, he has been replaced by Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear. Again, this wasn't bad. I would just say that the songs were a little so-so, in that none of them were that memorable. There was one song kind of toward the climax of the film where Maui is giving Moana a pep talk. That's no spoilers involved. That's just something that happens. She requires a pep talk. And the song there is pretty good. Builds some hype. A standout performance. I had to Google who was the Bat Lady, because that woman can sing. And that is Awibai Fraser. she is a very talented singer. Kudos to you when you were singing as the Batgirl, because your song was very well performed. Vocally, whew, top notch. Beautiful vocal performance. And that song was pretty good too. So like a couple songs were pretty good. But then the rest of them I was like, it's all right. I did appreciate the story. I liked that Moana was aged up, and it was more about Moana maturing and realizing that her actions don't only just have consequences for herself, but for her whole village. And she's trying to kind of grow and accept that her missions are bigger than herself, and grappling with the fact that people might get hurt in the process. You know, like overall, I think it was a very good storyline. The ending was very cute, though, because I have a propensity to overthink. I sat there for a minute, overthinking a lot. So if you've seen Moana 2, you know what I'm talking about. I just had a hard time. I was like, was she not given choice? Is that what she wanted? Did she know what that meant? Again, choice. I'm big on choice. So I'm like, did she not really get a choice in the matter? This was all just predestined for her, and she didn't get to choose whether she wanted this at all? No? And just the story? Okay. I'm just supposed to accept it? Alright. That's fine. In conclusion, Moana 2, 8 out of 10. Would I see it again? Sure. Why not? Moana, I would see Moana 1 again for sure. Moana 1's like a 9 out of 10. But this one's 8 out of 10. Not as good, but still pretty good. Like, I wouldn't be upset if I went over to somebody's house and they were like, hey, let's watch Moana 2. I won't throw a fit about that. I'll be fine. 8 out of 10. Congratulations, Moana 2. Next up, we have Kraven the Hunter. I don't know what accent that was, but they're Russian in this movie. So that was my poor attempt at Russian. So Kraven the Hunter stars Mr. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who looked great in this film. Let me tell you. Whoo, boy. He was a lovely piece of eye candy throughout this entire Bruce baby. You caused so much drama. Okay, do you want this? Do you want this pen? Do you want this pen? Oh. Bruce baby. Get off. Get off. Here, I'll give you the pen if you leave me alone. Go. Go get it. Thank you. Kraven the Hunter. So stars Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was a wonderful hunk of eye candy the entire time. I got to see him in a suit. I got to see him in cargo pants. I got to see him sweaty, dirty, and buff. Great stuff. Other than that, the story itself, not a bad story, just executed it kind of weird. So, a couple critiques. Russell Crowe, fantastic actor, horribly underused. I did like the gentleman that played Kraven's brother, Dimitri, played by Fred Heckinger. He did really well with what the material that he had. And again, I feel like they didn't really do much to kind of not flesh him out, but make his plot line make sense, because like he's one way in the middle of the movie, and then toward the end he does some shit and you're like, why? Like, I thought, okay, that's what we're doing, all right. And then we have Calypso being played by Ariana DeBose. I really liked her in this movie. I think that she was kind of the most natural on film. When I say natural, I feel like, and I don't know if this has already been said, but I feel like everybody gave a pretty wooden performance in this movie. especially Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, I know Aaron Taylor Johnson can put on quite a show. Like, quite a show. He can act his ass off, okay? He knows how to act. But I feel like in this movie specifically, there was a lot of him just going, like, like really monotone, no big reactions considering the things that he went through. Like, his reactions were just so blah. Like, you would think that somebody that's like seeking revenge would have more like more, and especially if you're Kraven the Hunter, where you're technically part animal. Like, you want big, primal, animalistic, exaggerated reactions, right? But his interpretation of the character is very stoic. And again, he is a very talented actor, so I don't know if this was how he was directed into like portraying the character, or if this was his own interpretation of what the character should be. But there's just kind of a disconnect with who the character is and how it's being portrayed. That's how I feel. And also the villain, Alessandro Nivola playing Rhino. What the fuck was that? No knock to you, sir, but like, why did you perform it like that? It was just odd to me. The choice in which, okay, this doesn't make any sense unless you've seen it, but just the choice in how like certain words were inflected, like certain lines, the way they were emphasized, like versus like, I want to buy the cookies, and I want to buy the cookies. Like, he was doing weird shit like that, and I was like, what? Why are you portraying this character this way? This is very odd. I couldn't get behind it. Somebody I could get behind, though, the person that played Foreigner, played by Christopher Abbott, bravo! He did a very good job of making me feel unnerved by him. Like, they talk about this character, like this villain, he's like, oh, he's really weird. And yeah, he plays a wackadoo really well. He did a great job. Like, he is one of the few people that I feel like knew his role and like committed. Like, he wasn't like, he was just strange and detached and scary, and that was what he was supposed to be, and that was great. Some other thing I want to point out, this story, so this is like Kraven's origin story, right? So of course they show like footage of him in his childhood. You know, they give the backstory, the lore of like him and his brother as babes. And they take a really long time in that flashback, to the point where I sat there and I was like, is the flashback gonna be like half of the movie? Because I thought we signed up to see Aaron Taylor Johnson like being primal and ripping shit apart. Who are these kids? Get the kids off the screen. Get the kids out the screen, man. Thankfully, the flashback does end. But before, another critique I have about said flashback. This is gonna be really mean. And you know what? We're just gonna go there. We're gonna be mean. Calypso's grandmother gives the most, I don't know how else to describe it other than, I am reading words from a script-ass performance I have ever seen in a big budget film. And I've seen some shitty movies, okay? I sat through Morbius. I sat through Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. And I've sat through the most recent Fast and Furious movies. I've seen some shit, okay? This performance, like, okay, the grandma is clearly giving exposition, but she's reading, like she's not even acting. It's like she's reading lines from like the cards, what, or teleprompter or whatever, the cue cards over here in front. And she's just, it's so bad, okay? It's bad. You are going to need this. I see an accident in your future. Yes, an accident in the future. Here, take this. Save this. You will need this for the accident in the future. Take care of yourself, Calypso. You are a strong woman. Like, what the hell is that? Oh! Okay. No! No! Nobody told her to say it again. Nobody. You don't even see her face half the time. Like, you don't even see her face as she's talking. You could have easily dubbed over her with somebody that was more enthusiastic with reciting these lines. So that happened, I'm gonna say, in like the first third of the movie. And that performance took me out of the movie so bad, y'all. I was so annoyed. I was like, oh, hell no. With performances like these, like, give me the script. Like, I can act. Y'all, I'm sorry to this woman, but god damn, that performance was awful. I wrote in my notes, the grandma, what the F, LMAO, because she's like so bad. I'm glad that she's only there to give exposition. Oh, and also there's some weird montages when Kraven is becoming Kraven that are so corny, dog. Like, they're so fucking corny. Oh my god. Oh, this movie. Oh, okay. Let's give our rating. Kraven the Hunter. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I was actually being very generous. And I gave it a 6 out of 10 because there were some endearing parts of this movie. I will say Ariana DeBose, so Calypso and Kraven's chemistry was all right. Kraven and Dimitri's chemistry was all right. Like, I enjoyed seeing the brotherhood. Kraven's action scenes were pretty good. But Kraven himself looked great. And I would watch this movie again just to laugh at the grandma's performance. And just to, like, try to pick apart why Aaron Taylor Johnson made the choices he made in this movie. Because I was just confused. Like, how can a movie with a budget this big, like, did the budget go toward, like, the special effects and, like, not the script? Or, like, did nobody, like, look at this and go, you know, Mr. Johnson, you could animate a little more. For a movie about a hunter that is part animal. Y'all, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Let's move on. Let's move on before I continue to rant and foam at the mouth, because this might be something I rant about at the retirement home. So, moving on. Let's talk about Nosferatu. This movie stars Lily Rose Depp. It stars Willem Dafoe, Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Bill Skarsgård. Y'all, what was I just telling you? I said I know Aaron Taylor Johnson can act. He put his whole titties in this. Like, he, like, fucking, like, knocked the house down with his performance in this movie. In Nosferatu is where I realized, holy shit, you can show emotion, because there is a scene where Mr. Aaron Taylor Johnson he has a very emotive scene where he has to cry, okay? He has to cry because shit goes down And you can feel his pain, you guys. You can feel his pain and his rage at the situation. It's palpable in the room. He's capable of great things. What the fuck happened in Kraven the Hunter? I rest my case, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Where is my pen that Bruce stole? Drop the pen. Mic drop. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I know you can act. I know you have greatness in you because I saw it in Nosferatu. Please sign up for more bangers like Nosferatu because I'm rooting for you. I want you to win all the awards one day. I want you to have a career as respected as like Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. All right, Lily Rose Depp. Holy cow, girl. Girl, you acted your ass off. I believed you. And what drove me crazy is because, okay, y'all have seen the preview. She's going, like doing all the shaking and shit. You know she got no CGI? Like this girl went there. She went there. She took us home. She took us to church. She had her eyes rolling back. She's convulsing. She's writhing. She did the whole back arching thing. This thing. All on herself. No CGI. That was her committing to the role and letting the darkness overtake her. And she did an amazing job of bouncing off of Count Orlok, who he's not Nosferatu. He's not like Ratatouille, y'all. Like the rat has a name. Nosferatu, the vampire, is named Count Orlok, okay? So Lily Rose Depp and Count Orlok have this wonderful, like they bounce off each other so well, where like in Spanish there's a phrase, me asusta pero me gusta, which means I'm afraid but I like it. Like the tension between them, where she's clearly like fighting some demons, but she's also drawn to his darkness because she herself has so much darkness within her. And then her chemistry with Nicholas Hoult, who plays her husband. Yo, Lily Rose Depp, whew, fantastic, absolutely fantastic job. I am a little sad because I know that the Academy and like most award thingies don't really appreciate horror the way that they should, when I feel like a lot of fantastic performances get overlooked just because they fall in the horror genre. Case in point, Florence Pugh in Midsommar, this Lily Rose Depp. I think that if you're wanting to see like really good performances, I think sometimes you have to go into the horror genre to find them. And it's really unfortunate that I know that she's probably not going to get the recognition at like the Academy level or at the award level that this girl deserves. Girl, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. She rocked the house. I was cheering for her. I was crying for her. I was feeling the things. Dude, I might be in love with Lily Rose Depp, y'all. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, fantastic. Nicholas Hoult, he knows I love him. Love you in the great. He is potentially one of like the most underrated actors in these recent decades, because he has been part of a lot of movies and shows that I've been a fan of. One of the most recent movies he was part of that I really enjoyed his performance was one called Renfield. If you haven't seen that movie yet, I highly recommend it. It's a vampire. It's like a dark comedy. He gives a really beautifully nuanced performance for a film that's supposed to be mainly comedic. I really appreciated that performance. And I also really appreciated what he brought to Nosferatu. I genuinely believed him when he was expressing fear, when he was his performance is just so well done. When he's in agony, you can believe that he's in agony, not just physical agony, but emotional agony because of what Lily Rose Depp's character and Count Orlok have going on. What he's got going on with Count Orlok, what he's got going on with his best friend Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, everything in this film felt so raw and believable. It was amazing. Also, who else am I going to talk about? Willem Dafoe. Love him. He doesn't need much commentary because he's like great in every movie he's in. He's just an electric actor. He really just is. And that's one thing that I am also going to mention about all of the actors across the board. None of them are afraid of being weird, scary, or ugly. And that is a big critique I have about some modern day performers. Sometimes I feel like actresses in particular, because they are conventionally very beautiful women, I feel like there are times where sometimes, and I don't know, this is just, maybe I'm projecting, okay? Maybe me, I don't like to look ugly, but like, I just feel like sometimes I feel like some actors or actresses hold back on their performances because they don't want to look ugly on camera. Like, does that make sense? That just might be a me thing. I might sound crazy for doing that, but like one actress I can think of that comes to mind is Gal Gadot. Like, I feel like she's got a beautiful face, and I feel like she's so focused on serving face, like that, like she doesn't emote properly. Like she's not gonna go like full on camera because she's too busy serving face. Like that might be, again, don't quote me on that. I might just be an unhinged hater, but I just feel like I've noticed it. Among a myriad of performances through films I've seen over the years. And I feel like it just needs to be said that in this movie, no one's afraid of looking ugly or coming across too much or too weird. And I think that is what kind of catapulted this movie from being just like an okay horror movie to being a work of art. Like, this movie is art. It's the cinematography, it's shot beautifully. Yes, it's in the dark, and you would think that the movie was in black and white, but it's not. It's just the way that, like, the wardrobe is fantastic too. The way the wardrobe, and again, the cinematography, the lighting, the way that the sets are made, it makes it look very like desaturated, very dark, but in a very beautiful way. Gorgeous movie. It's gorgeous. And the way the snow falls and shit, it's beautiful. Gorgeous movie. Last but not least, we do need to talk about Bill Skarsgård. All right. He is a fantastic Count Orlok. Okay. Kind of, it's his performance. I'll admit that the voice that he gave Count Orlok was a little weird to me at first, but then when I got once I got like immersed into the movie, I was like, okay, I see what he's doing here. He plays scary so well, but he is also, like, the way that he depicts his passion and longing for Lily Rose Depp's character in this movie is so gothically beautiful. Oh my God, like, I understand why why she wants Count Orlok like that. Like, yes, he's terrifying and ugly and he's like an undead creature, but like, get you a man's that is willing to traverse the sea for you and bring plagues just to get you to him. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Bill Skarsgård did an amazing job. Bill Skarsgård is one of those generational talents that you just forget that he is like that's him in there. You know? That happened with Pennywise. I haven't seen The Crow, but I want to see The Crow to know what he did with that character, because he does some very interesting things with his characters, and you can tell that it's from a genuine love of the craft. You know? Like, nothing about this performance felt shoehorned in or any, like, he's just a true thespian, you know? Chef's kiss. Bill Skarsgård, I can't wait to see what you do next, because truly, he is an actor I very much respect for what he can do. And he is definitely also going to go down as one of those great character actors that comes around once in a lifetime. I think that Robert Eggers, the director of this film, did a great job of kind of bringing out the best in every single one of these actors. Because again, they acted their tits off. Even the cats in the movies, man, they meowed at the perfect time. Swear to God, swear to God, there were cats in this movie. That's also, because I kind of like cats. But yeah, cats in the movie, they really brought it home for me. um, what else did I like about this movie? I will say, pacing wise, there were little parts that were a little slow, but it wasn't bad. I think it was more like you had to. The movie, the score of this movie, too. Okay, let's talk about the score. Amazing job of making everything seem eerie. And can I just say, this movie has also proven that we should just go back to having orchestral scores, you know, like things that actually fit the ambiance of the scenes. Because I'm getting little, like, unless it's a musical, where there's singing and dancing and whatever, I'm just getting real sick of, like, movies where, you know, I mean, this is hyperbole, okay? Where, this girl's just sitting here drinking tea or coffee or whatever I'm drinking. And she's just sitting there trying to, like, think. And then you just suddenly hear, our song is his name is Green Door. And I don't know. And you're just like, can we not have full on, like, songs taking away from the scene? Or like somebody's racing a car and it's really dramatic, and it's an action scene and they're racing the car, and high stakes. We could have a really nice orchestral, like, build up or a swell of music, because classical music can do that for you. Symphonies can do this for you, to build hype. And then instead, nowadays, it's like a rap song in the back. And, like, I get it. I get that we like modern pop music, but I just feel like there's a time and a place, and I feel like we're losing the art behind filmmaking. Like, think about movies like Jurassic Park, Home Alone, Harry Potter. That's just, there's an orchestra behind a lot of that. Oh, like, there's melodies in there that make it iconic. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think we need pop music in movies all that much. And, like, that's what it is now. And I don't think that we need that. Don't. So Nosferatu, breath of fresh air. Thank you for bringing back proper scores. Let's talk about what I would rate Nosferatu, with how long I ranted about Nosferatu. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is 10 out of 10. Okay? I would 1,000% see it again. I would own a physical copy of it. I would watch it every Halloween and Christmas. I'd watch it all the time. This was a great movie. 1,000%. Great movie. Tell your friends. Oh, before you tell your friends, I'm gonna warn you. You get to see Count Orlok's junk, and you also get to see Lily Rose Depp's. Yeah. Very briefly. Very briefly. It's not like smutty, right? But just saying. It's a rated R movie, so there's some partial nudity going on. Okay. Thank you. Moving on. Last movie that we're talking about today is Babygirl. Babygirl, a movie I liked so much, I saw it twice. That is right. Your girl saw it twice. Now, this movie was written and directed by Helena Rain, who, as you may have guessed, is a woman, and stars Nicole Kidman and an up-and-coming actor named Harris Dickinson. Now, Nicole Kidman is my girlfriend. I've loved and respected her forever. I loved her in Moulin Rouge, loved her in The Others, I've loved her in Eyes Wide Shut. I love Nicole Kidman. So nobody come to my channel for Nicole Kidman slander, because that's not how this house rolls. We will never speak ill of Nicole Kidman. Ever. Unless she does something really bad. But for now, Nicole Kidman is like one of my favorite actors, okay? She, now that she is older and more established, she has shared that she's made it a rule for herself that she is going to try to work with more women, women-led films, like more women directors, more women writers, bringing more women-led stories to the forefront. And I think that is an excellent use of her platform. This is kind of what we mean when we talk about people with certain privileges, kind of spotlighting and uplifting the voices of the minorities. I think it's fabulous what she's trying to do. So this is one of those projects. So, Babygirl is about Nicole Kidman essentially becoming a baby girl. Nicole Kidman's character is named Romy Mathis. She is a bad bitch. She is a CEO of a company. And she's constantly having to be in control of everything, be it her career, her household, everything. And then she meets a young man named Samuel, played by Harris Dickinson, who turns her world upside down. Okay? He dicks her down real good, okay? Yes, he does. So, Nicole Kidman's performance, wow. Okay? She went there, you guys. This movie is definitely not for children. This is absolutely a movie that you are going to want to see exclusively with grown-ups. Preferably don't go with your parents, because it'll be some awkward stuff. Spoiler, not spoiler, this movie opens to the sound of Nicole Kidman orgasming, okay? This is the kind of movie that you're in for. Now, this movie, the first time I saw it, made me feel very uncomfortable at certain parts. And I had to sit with myself and ask, am I uncomfortable because of the content of the movie? Or am I uncomfortable because, as a woman, I'm not used to seeing women portrayed in this way? And what I mean by that is, would I feel less disconcerted if the roles were reversed and this was a male CEO and a younger female intern? And when I asked myself that, I realized that that the latter was what made me uncomfortable, and that I needed to kind of push past that discomfort and truly appreciate this movie for what it is. Because we grow up in a patriarchal society where we think that women, once they marry and settle down, that they shouldn't have these desires or want to behave this way. There are quite a few scenes in this movie where I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but like I would look at Nicole Kidman's character doing the things that she's doing and I'm like, bitch, get up. Get up. No. Couldn't be me. But it's just, it was so good. The awkward moments in the movie were purposefully awkward. They were written very well, and they were performed amazingly. I do have to give Harris Dickinson his flowers, because the fact that he can keep up with Nicole Kidman acting Titan says a lot about his talents as an actor. The fact that he's going toe to toe with her and keeping up. The fact that he delivered such a solid performance. Like, I I for for a few moments, like there were times where I forgot that I was watching a movie, and these felt like two actual people. And he plays a toxic little fucker so well. And yet for some reason I didn't get the ick. And I, and there is a part in the movie where his character mentions that he and the CEO are just, the reason that they're doing this dom, he's the dom and she's the sub. The reason they're doing this dom and sub thing is because they are they're children playing, or they're and when it put that perspective, like it gave me that perspective, I was like, you know what? This ain't that weird. It's not. And as somebody who is essentially like somebody like me who's essentially girl bossing all the time, I can see the appeal in wanting to surrender control for a little bit, to have somebody else make those decisions for me. In y'all know what I'm trying to say, okay? Don't make me say it. Y'all know exactly what I'm trying to say. I think that they gave amazing performances. I was amazed at how well they played off of each other. And again, much like in Nosferatu, the tension between these two characters was palpable. I was so into it. Some other performances I want to highlight. I think Antonio Banderas playing the husband to Nicole Kidman, fantastic job. Now, I have only ever seen Antonio Banderas in like the Zorro movies and Puss in Boots. So, truth be told, I wasn't sure of his acting abilities. And I was pleasantly surprised. He definitely gave, again, I'm using this word a lot, but he gave a very raw, real performance as the husband. There's a scene in the movie where Nicole Kidman and Antonio Banderas have to have a very difficult conversation. And the way that Antonio Banderas responds is so realistic that I felt a twist in my gut. I did. I felt a twist in my gut when they had that conversation. And the I even felt it the second time I watched the movie. That tells me that he went there, balls to the wall. He went there and gave a fantastic performance. And I have to commend him for that. Good job, Antonio Banderas. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. All I know you from really is Puss in Boots. You're a great Puss in Boots. I also think that the girl that played Nicole Kidman's assistant, Esme, played by Sophie Wilde, really good job. She wasn't in the movie very much, but it was a very natural performance. I enjoyed seeing her on screen. I did. And then I also really liked the oldest daughter, named Isabel, played by Esther Rose McGregor. She also did a really good job in her performance. Like, she didn't overdo it. Subtle, but real. And I have to really commend them, like commend her performance. It was very good. But yeah, this movie, wowie zowie. Again, I felt uncomfortable at certain parts, but I feel like the film is designed to make you feel uncomfortable and ask these sorts of questions. And I think the only critique, not even critiques, okay, suggestions I have. And again, these might not actually be suggestions because I'm a freak and I read a lot of books that are freaky like this. So, am I even gonna say them? Okay, you know what? Let's say them. There's, spoiler, not spoiler. They make a lot of there's things with Samuel's tie that happen a lot. He grabs his tie. She finds a tie. And so I was very much anxiously anticipating some tie action. Either tie, 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 or tie. But alas, there was no tie. So I just want to know, were the gestures or the implications of the tie like more about the power and control dynamic between the two of them? Probably, but my dirty ass was expecting some ties. Power and control, I'm gonna make you fall. Power and control, I'm gonna make you fall. Women and men, we are the same. Oh, that song is called Power and Control by Marina and the Diamonds. Look that up. um, also, of course, there's lots of scenes between Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson. I will say, um, the scenes, they really move the plot forward. Like, they're not like sex scenes for the purpose of sex scenes. Like, they're not they're not very sexy scenes, if I'm being completely honest. And once it's on, it's on. And so I think I maybe would have benefited more from the story if they hadn't kind of rushed their connection. Like, once it's on, it's on. And we see montages of things that they've experienced together. And I kind of wish that we had slowed the story down just a little bit, because the movie itself is kind of it's not long, so I feel like you didn't necessarily need a montage. And then the last thing, and this is again more for me because I'm on the spectrum and I need clear directives and clear communication. And so there are certain points in the film where they're talking but they're not really saying anything. Like, they say a couple words and then it's dead silence, and then he says a couple words, it's silent. She says a couple words and it's silent, and then they try to say something and then they like kind of interrupt each other, but they're not really saying anything. And for me, like, I know that is to like kind of cement the awkwardness of the entire thing, but for me, I kind of had a hard time trying to piece together what they were trying to talk about. That was more of an issue the first watch. So when I watched it for the second time, I had an easier time understanding what they were trying to say to each other. So, yeah, that's like my only other like feedback for the movie. Overall, just because of those like little minor things, I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. I think it was brilliantly written, brilliantly directed, brilliantly acted. The score of this movie, it does have a few pop songs in there, but there are some instrumental portions of it that really like Helena Rain, man, you know how to make movies because you are very smart about where you wanted the music to be and how you wanted the music to kind of sway the emotions of the film. Like I was ranting before, I feel like sometimes movie studios are also trying to push their record label that they have, and they just shove pop songs in there when they don't need to. One of the movies I want to like kind of accuse of this, It Ends With Us. Y'all, you could have easily had a score, like a really good score, but whatever. So I think that this movie also has a very good score. And for that reason, it is a 9 out of 10. So In summary, Moana 2, 8 out of 10. Kraven the Hunter, 6 out of 10. Nosferatu, 10 out of 10. And ending this with Babygirl with a 9 out of 10. Overall, pretty happy with what I saw this winter. I can't wait to see what first quarter of 2025 has in store, because I'm a frequent moviegoer. So if you like this, if you want to see me review more movies, I might do this from time to time. If you have any comments, thoughts, feelings, reactions about these movies that I talked about today, feel free to comment and let me know. Happy to continue the dialogue, especially I love talking about movies. I love talking about acting, or anything media related. I love talking about all this shit. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching this, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.